Hey everybody, watch this review here with a look at Wonder Woman! Yeah! Wonder Woman is one of DC's most enduring franchises, and for many of us, might be best remembered for the live-action TV show where she was played by the very voluptuous Linda Carter. Of course, most of us probably only saw the reruns, but, leaves an impression, definitely leaves an impression there. However, Linda Carter really can't compare to the portrayal of Wonder Woman in the comics just in terms of flat-out hotness. By the way, Linda Carter has not aged well. Do not Google that. Google Wonder Woman Linda Carter, not Linda Carter. Trust me, huge favor. But for people not familiar with the origin, she's an Amazonian princess tasked with going to the world of man as an emissary or ambassador or whatever, and was given various magical items in addition to having superhuman abilities. Her variant in this wave is her fellow Amazon, Artemis, who sports a radically different look despite using the same body sculpt. Artemis, of course, is not pictured here, so I'm not even sure why I'm holding up this one segment, but most of the figures in this wave did have variants, except for poor Ares, who is the odd man out. She comes with the right leg of Despero, the only other figure in this wave not to receive a variant, although given that 4 of the 5 figures had variants, he very well could have had a variant. As well as a battle axe in the same shape as the logo blazoned onto her breastplate. It's kind of like an eagle. And the shield, which has little stars on it, also reminiscent of the costume itself, which clips onto her forearm. Although the character isn't always depicted as using weapons, it's cool that they included them because she is a warrior princess, not to be confused with Lucy Lawless's character. And as such, should get weapons, in addition to the usual stuff, which are her little bracers, which deflect projectiles, and the lasso, which can compel people to tell the truth, can force them to do her bidding occasionally, and can prevent certain things that possess people, such as when she was using it to block the nanites in Batman during the Justice arc. Minor spoilers. Plus, her tiara is not just an accessory, it's also a weapon that can be thrown kind of like a boomerang, as she once reminded Superman. Wonder Woman's been reissued once or twice, but the figure kind of exemplifies most of the flaws seen with the DC Universe classics and actually DC superheroes' female sculpts. Just it comes out looking really jointy because they continue to use the bicep joint, which I don't so much like on female characters because it looks kind of funky. Even like at the elbow here, the joint is sort of more noticeable for some reason. And plus, because it's generally thinner, it does have a tendency to snap if you're not too careful. But in terms of articulation, we have a rotating wrist. Also, you'll notice that she has both open hands instead of fists, which allow her to hold the axe in either hand. Single joint elbow, rotating bicep, which again, not entirely fond of. Ball jointed shoulder, which, again, isn't a really flattering ball joint. The head rotates as well as going up and down a little bit, but because she doesn't really go up and down too much, but the hair really impedes it on the back. Great looking hair, though. We have a ab/diaphragm joint with a normal range of motion, but it's just really visible. In addition to having a moving waist, but it's really impeded because we have the belt here. Leg kicks forward, it'll also kick out, as with all of them. We have a rotating thigh joint here right above the knee, single jointed knee, then a pivot here at the ankle. So, standard articulation for the line. Overall impressions, despite its flaws, it's still a pretty nice looking figure, and, although I do wish they'd take another stab at her and, possibly give her a more flattering figure. I mean, this is definitely a very good try for the line. You'll notice that the product details are sort of wedged right between her ass cheeks. Kind of weird decision, but hey, whatever. You'll also see like little lines here on some of them, depending how closely the seams are, but I mean, it's really visible just because they use flesh tone legs. Although a lot of other characters kind of have the same problem, it's not as immediately visible just because it's part of the costume, and when you're looking at the costume, it does conceal it a bit more. But that was also one of the complaints I had about Giganta, because she had that same sort of issue. Also, I guess the other part of it's just the fact that the female thighs don't have as much muscular detail, which could also help conceal something like that, but on the whole, minor problems, but still a very cool figure. I like how they did the hair, decent looking volume, okay color. We have the sort of tacky blue highlights that are just super blue, as with many of other figures that they've done. But yeah, pretty cool. Happy I picked this one up. And of course, she is basically a staple of the Justice League and basically everything else, so. Quick size comparison for scale, we have Wonder Woman next to Donna Troy from the recently released Wave 13, the massive Ares, also from the Despero series, and the Public Enemy's Batman, so she is the standard height, just in case you're wondering.